Alright gang, I am off to the cinema this evening to go check out Fist Fight.
I'm gonna fight you.
I'm sorry, what?
I wonder what this movie's about. I mean, seriously, this film has the most non-specific title in motion picture history. Is it about a fist? Is it about a fight? Make up your mind, movie.
I'm sorry, what?
Alright gang, I just got out of Fist Fight.
911, what's your emergency?
There's a crazy guy at my high school. He's trying to beat me up.
If you have a problem with a bullet, I need you to speak to a teacher.
No, I am a teacher.
Excuse me?
Spoiler alert, this movie is about two teachers that do have a fist fight.
Campbell, you got this!
I'm going to keep this review mercifully short, primarily because Fist Fight is a very short comedy that ironically didn't feel mercifully short. It was 90 minutes, but it fucking felt like 900 from my perspective.
Without a doubt.
I think if the makers of this movie were attempting to make the most irresponsible film about high school teachers in the history of cinema, mission accomplished. And speaking as a person who once was trained to become a teacher, I can absolutely guarantee you that this movie is not so much a comedy as it is pure science fiction.
Teachers don't fight.
I want everybody to see this.
Okay, so what you need to know about this comedy is that the plot in a nutshell is you got Charlie Day, who plays a very Charlie Day-esque character.
Tell me how. Why did you do that?
Because you said like how when he was talking about getting hit in the head.
I mean, like, how do I make a
Got
fist?
it, that makes sense.
Who's a high school teacher in this really rough inner city school.
These students shit on this school all day. You think
Ice Cube plays a very Ice Cubian character. Something happens between the pair where Charlie Day unfortunately has to rat out Ice Cube's teacher to the principal in order to save his job. I think he has completely justifiable motive, seeing as Ice Cube's character tried to take an axe to a student. I am not making this up.
you think this is funny? I'm gonna show you what's funny.
Ice Cube is so pissed off, he threatens Charlie Day to an after-school fist fight.
Campbell! Parking lot. After school. It's on.
This is over.
One man wins when the other is unconscious. Then and only then is it over.
Hilarity ensues.
Are you serious? This is the 1700s?
As you can see, I've kind of been taking a really sarcastic tone with Fist Fight. I'm not really sure why they didn't call this movie Teacher Fight, because there's a social media movement set within the film where kids begin posting on social media about this fight, and they use the hashtag Teacher Fight. So why isn't this movie called Teacher Fight?
Hashtag teacher fight. Who else knows about this?
Anywho, in Fist Fight, this is a film that is aggressively trying to be a hard R-rated comedy. Now, I am no cinematic prude. I do not mind debauchery and foul language and violence in movies. It certainly doesn't offend me. What does kind of offend me a little bit about this movie is that, again, it's so aggressively trying to be foul-mouthed. There's like every character, from students to teachers to principals to even really young girls at one particular point in this movie are dropping F-bombs and multiple variations of F-bombs with a bit more frequency than any other character on a normal plane of existence that would occupy a planet I like to call Earth would.
Why don't you just take a punch and then just go down? Play dead like possums do, or anything that's like a pussy animal.
I certainly do understand that this movie is a very broad farce. I understand, I get that. It doesn't seem to pull itself off very, very well. And not only that, it's just, again, it's just over time, the movie got really grating.
Maybe the best thing to do is just run.
And I think this is another fine example of a comedy that confuses vulgarity and volume with high hilarity. And it has a lot of characters that scream out their lines. And the film certainly thinks it is incredibly funny, but it just becomes more teeth grating the longer this film progresses. And again, this movie is very short. It just doesn't feel short because it's just sort of an endurance test to sit through. If you want a reasonable facsimile of the expression that I had on my face while watching this film, this is pretty much it. Charlie Day, he's a really peculiar on-screen performer because I think he certainly has an inviting personality, and he's been in movies that I've certainly liked. But you know, there is a point in a lot of his performance theatrics where he really overplays characters.
Am I the only one here who sees what's going on? Hello?
Hello?
Not hello, you! Hello, he's holding an axe!
I gotta say, he comes across with a very annoying personality at times in this film, and it made me very hard for me to latch onto this character and really give a shit about the predicament he's in. Now, his co-star in Ice Cube to me is capable of being incredibly funny in movies. I mean, the 22 Jump Street films that he was in, I thought he was an absolute ride in those. Question: is Ice Cube the most frightening high school teacher of all time in this movie?
We're gonna handle our differences like real men.
What differences?
You got a job and I don't. Snitches get stitches.
Snitches and stitches? What are you talking about?
I mean, if Ice Cube was a teacher in real life, I think the problem of juvenile delinquency in any school would be solved overnight. This guy is a walking pillar of hostility. He's that intimidating. So I find him funny because of how mean looking he is, and sometimes that works for his characters. And I think, yeah, he's doing his rough and rugged shtick here, and it generates a couple laughs.
I don't need to be liked. I need to educate.
I think they're kind of flanked by co-stars that frankly are really phoning it in. Jillian Jacobs, in one particular instance, she plays this high school teacher. She's a guidance counselor that just happens to be hooked on crystal meth, and she also turns out to be a sexual predator that's stalking one of her students.
Hey, you're the guidance counselor. You're not doing meth again, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Don't do meth.
Because it's a gateway.
It's the finish line.
You know, every time the film returns to a gag involving that, I'm trying to like pinch and remind myself, this is supposed to be funny. I'm supposed to be laughing at this. It's kind of like, it's not really very funny. If anything, it's a little nauseating. This film has no interest whatsoever in being audaciously original with its subject matter. Like, for example, if I was writing this film and I had Charlie Day and Ice Cube in the starring roles, why not inverse their roles? Like, make Charlie Day the tough guy hard ass, and make Ice Cube kind of the dweeby weasel. I mean, it'd be an effective sort of bit of bait and switch. I mean, audiences would go in expecting this character out of Ice Cube and so forth, and you get the complete opposite. At least that approach would have shown a little bit of screenwriting novelty, but again, this film is not interested in that.
Without a doubt.
Now, I will say this about Fist Fight. The climactic fist fight, it's kind of an epic Donnybrook. I mean, it's a point where the film does generate a real exhilarating pulse.
I don't think he's got this.
On a normal plane of reality, Ice Cube would mop the floor with Charlie Day like that. But the film finds inventive ways to show the Charlie Day character actually being able to go toe-to-toe with Ice Cube. So I'll give it a few points for originality there.
Yeah?
This whole movie's just stupid. I mean, I saw it for free, but I feel like I overpaid.
I'm sorry, what?
So there you go. There's my review of Fist Fight. Let me know in the comments below if you are one of the poor suckers that actually paid money to see this film.
Must be so embarrassed.
Also, let me know in the comments below what some of your favorite Charlie Day or Ice Cube films are. Once again, thank you very much for watching. If you could like this video, I'd really appreciate it. If you could subscribe to my channel, give me some subscribe love. That would mean the world to me. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you at the movies.
I don't have time for this today.